IPL 2019 is here, and today we are going to break down the squads as well as the very first 6 games of action. I'm Rob, one half of Leading Edge Cricket, joined by the co-host of the show, Rich.
Hey Rob, how's it going?
I'm doing great, my friend. Yourself?
Yeah, very well, buddy, very well. I do apologise and being sorry for cheating on you last week.
That is quite all right. It was a fantastic podcast. We were just talking offline and I was doing the editing on it, and you guys covered off so much in the world of cricket, it made me wonder how you did it.
Well, there you go, buddy. There you go. Anyone that's not listened to it, get you tuning in. Come on, get involved. That got you up to date.
It got you up to date on the world of cricket. And it's kind of what we were built on originally, right? It was covering the whole span of the globe, all 4 corners. There's that Flat Earth Society thrown in again. But making sure that we stay up to date with everything that's going on in the world of cricket. And it was a great conversation with you and Torley. Something I never thought I'd ever say involving Torley. It was a great conversation.
Yeah, and we got, we both spoke at length as well, didn't we? So, which is another thing that's not always the case with that lovely man, lovely man.
Especially after a few pints, it's a little bit one way, but it's good to be back on air with you, my friend. We've got the time zones nailed down. It's 12, 13 hours different, so we're almost there, and the IPL has officially kicked off.
It is, sorry. I love the fact that you've just gone, we've got the time zones nailed down, and then there was a nice bit long pause when you tried to work out the time zone.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that tells you everything we need to know. And also, a little bit of character assassination of Torley. Torley, thank you for coming on the podcast last week, my friend. I'm sure you will be back on again soon, and we really appreciate you helping out when Rob decides to wander off feeding ducks with expensive bits of food.
Yeah, exactly. No, it is really good at Torley. Cracking bloke. Well worth his value with a couple of pints in his hand, normally one in each hand, and he loves a good yarn about cricket.
Too right, including, Rob, the IPL.
The IPL, he loves a little bit of IPL. In fact, long time story, 12 years ago, IPL 2008, the first ever IPL, I watched the IPL final at his house. There you go.
Wow, IPL 1.
IPL 1, before it had a 1 on its name, when it was just called the IPL.
Love it. So what are we going to do today, Rob?
We're going to break down the squad. So we've got the 8 same teams that we had last year, but we have one important name change. Delhi Daredevils are no longer daring and full of devils. They are now the Delhi Capitals.
Woo! Workshop that one, guys.
Yeah, well, you're taking one of the coolest names and surely like marketable names that you can throw things at, and you've called them the Capitals.
Yeah, it's a tough one because there's going to be a lot of positivity coming out for Delhi. So please, Delhi folks, Delhi fans, do not switch off just at this moment. But yeah, they needed a change of name. They needed a change of look, didn't they? Daredevils had to go, Rob. They were underperforming. One of the one of the worst teams around there since the IPL began, wasn't it? So maybe it wasn't a bad thing that they've freshened things up a bit. And the name Delhi Capitals is probably a bit more befitting of the sort of setup they are these days. So I think it suits them, mate.
Okay, I will take your lead on it. And it feels like a good place to start by going Delhi Capitals. Let's have a conversation about them and work out what is going on. So as you've said, Rich, historically, one of the worser teams, and I'm using a worser name because it's not actually a word, but we look at their finishes over the previous years. 8th last year, 6th in 2017, 6th in 2016, 7th year before, 8th year before. They even came 9th. They even came 10th. They're year on year a poor team. But this is 2019. 2019 it's a year of change. They've got rid of some of the old. They've brought in some of the new, Rich. And they've got to be feeling a little bit more optimistic about what they can go and achieve.
I reckon they have to be. Ricky Ponting at the helm. This is a sort of squad at the minute we're going to get into in a moment, which I'm quite excited about. Now, Delhi, like you've just been describing, Rob, historically, if there was an 11-team tournament, they'd have finished 11th. If there was a 12-team tournament, they'd finished 12th.
If there was 12 teams, I think they would have come 13th, mate.
Well, there is a chance a couple of years, isn't there? But this is a team that I'm excited about. It's a young team. It's led by a relatively young fella on the field as well. So let's go through the squad, Rob, and then you can pick out what you like and maybe what you don't like. And also we'll have a look at the ins and outs of each team as well as we roll through. So Shreyas, he is the captain. Shikhar Dhawan, he is going to be someone we'll definitely speak about because he is vitally important, in my opinion, in this relatively young squad. So here leading them, Shikhar Dhawan, Rishabh Pant, Prithvi Shaw, Amit Mishra, Avesh Khan, Harshal Patel, Rahul Tewatia, Manjot Kalra, Colin Munro, Chris Morris, Chris Morris, that's a tricky one to say. Kagiso Rabada, Sandeep Lamichan. Is he still 17?
17-ish.
Yeah, he's been 17-year-old leg spinner for quite a number of years now, hasn't he? So it must be at least 18 now. Trent Bolt, Hanumu Viharia, Axar Patel, Ishant Sharma, Natu Singh, Ankush Bains, Colin Ingram, Shafane Rutherford, Kimo Paul, Jalal Jalej Saxena, and Bandura Ayappa is the Delhi Capital squad, Rob.
I love the fact that is your job on this podcast, because I would still be going and stumbling around. That's a damn good effort.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Chris Morris. I mean, it took me a while to work out the pronunciation of that one.
It's a difficult one. The C and the H is sometimes hard to put together, and you nailed Colin Munro as well, mate.
Yeah, I'm good on that one. I like Shafane. That's my favourite name out of that squad so far. Shafane Rutherford.
Now, I look at this team, and there's a lot of players that aren't here anymore. Jason Roy, Gautam Gambia, Liam Plunkett, your best mate, Mohamed Shami. They've got rid of the big show, Glenn Maxwell. They've got rid of a lot of players, but actually, I think what they've brought in is some really good stuff. They've got Ishant Sharma, local boy. They've got Shikhar Dhawan, local boy. 2 local boys, international experience. That is going to bring people into the ground. Colin Ingram's a hell of a player that's coming in. And obviously, there is Rishabh Pant, who was already off to a lightning start, but last year, 684 runs. Really had like a breakout moment in his young career. Yeah,
totally. And he's already 100-plus runs up on this season, isn't he? So he's hit the ground running. I just love the fact that this is, I don't know, overall the squad might not be the youngest, but the starting 11, the regular 11, it's a pretty young team, isn't it? They're backing the young players on this one. Whatever they've done in the past, it's not word. Let's start it over. Let's back the young fella as skipper. Give him a really experienced lieutenant in Shikhar Dhawan, and then let's back the young boys, the future of the Indian batting lineup in Rishabh Pant and Prithvi Shaw.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I really do think they've done a good job spending the money well on people like Shikhar Dhawan as the experience, but then having so many of these good young players, like you were saying, because the young players, they're not bad players. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's easy for them to be overshadowed in the IPL because there's so many star-studded names. But when you've got young players like your Iyer, who is captain this year, that's a hell of an achievement.
Yeah, 100%, buddy. And Rishabh Pant, let's have a look. What happened to him last year? He was the most sixes. He was the emerging player of the tournament. Do not be surprised this year if he's the leading run scorer, if he is walking away with a nice new orange hat.
A new orange hat. If you're going to pick a weakness out of this team, I've got to look at it and I've got to go, the weakness is probably around the bowling. I think batting, they will keep up with teams and they've got plenty to go on. But sometimes the bowling, when it gets later in the tournament and there needs to be that rotation, sometimes here they might struggle. Yes, they've got a Trent Bolt. Yes, they've got an Ishant Sharma. But what happens when they need a rest? Who's the next guy that's going to step up?
Yeah. I mean, you've got. I'm going to take a little bit of an issue with you on this one, because I think I look at this one. You've got Chris Morris, who's going to be in the background a little bit. He's a rotational piece. Kagiso Rabada, arguably the finest seamer in the world at the moment. Trent Bolt, he got a little bit of tap in the first game, but he's not a bad player, obviously. Ishant Sharma's there. You've also got Kimo Paul. We spoke about Kimo Paul's. He had an impressive first outing against England in the winter. So yeah, I do know I know where you're coming from, but I reckon there's a little bit more depth here than maybe we give it credit for. Spin department, Rahul Tewatia, Sandeep Lamichan. I'm obviously missing somebody else here, but yeah, every squad, they can't have just 2 11s, can they? So they're going to be lacking in certain departments, and it all depends on performance. This is some great players on paper, but are they going to perform? And that's always the big question.
So moving on to Kings 11 Punjab, Rich, captained by Ashwin, who I'm sure we're going to be talking about very, very soon. A team historically that kind of fair to middling would be an English term to call them. Sometimes they're around the mid-table, sometimes they're around the bottom. They had back-to-back years, 2015, 2016, where they finished 8th, but originally made the semi-final. They were a finalist in 2014, so they have some history there, and they know they can go on and achieve greater things. But as of recently, it's been pretty tough pickings for the Kings Punjab 11.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a surprise, really, isn't it, when you consider the likes of Chris Gale has been with them for quite some time now. Yeah, they're a weird one to get a hold of because every year they look like they're going to be there or thereabouts, aren't they? And again, they just don't really fill me with absolute confidence that they are going to be there. Interesting squad we'll go into. Obviously, they've had a few losses, haven't they? One or two players have moved out. Your favourite, Rob, Marcus Stoinis, he's no longer around, is he?
Oh, what a shame. He's been in great form in the Big Bash as well.
MVP tip last year, sorry, Marcus Stoinis.
Yeah, 6 runs.
Is that what it felt like? So they are a bit of a strange side for me. I don't know what you're on about with Ravi Ashwin, by the way. I don't know. Has he been in the news? I don't know anything about this.
Oh, maybe. I mean, there might have been the odd tweet that's been going around, mate.
Just the odd tweet. But you are right. He is leading this 11. Mike Hess at the helm. So we have Ravi Ashwan. We have KL Rahul. We have Mandeep Singh. Mayank Agarwal, Ankit Rajput, Karun Nair, David Miller, Chris Gale, Universe Boss, Andrew Tai, Mujibu Rahman, Nicholas Puran, Mohammed Shami, Varian Chakravarthi, who we will speak about shortly. He didn't have the best first over in IPL history. Sarfaraz Khan, Sam Curran, Arshdeep Singh, Hardus Viljuan, Darshan Nalkande, Prabsarin Singh, Agnivesh Ayachi. Yeah, sorry, mate. Harpreet Brar and Murugan Ashwin. The names just get trickier as we go through these squads.
It's, again, very good job, mate. You nailed the Universe Boss. Yes.
Yeah. So pick your bones out.
Team, mate. Yeah, they're a funny team because Chris Gale's obviously the star power. The big shining star at the top. He's in fantastic form. However, if you roll back a year to the start of IPL 2018, the guy wasn't getting a game, and it was almost like that drop-in was the resurgence of this man and kind of coming to prominence. They do have some local heroes: KL Rahul, Karun Nair, Agarwal, all decent players, and Colin Miller's as good a hitter of a cricket ball as you're going to get. But I'm taking the pessimist role about most of these teams that we're talking about at the moment because we're going from bottom to top from last year's team. I do feel like they have an improvement on last year, but I am slightly worried about what that top ceiling is going to be, especially from a batting point of view.
No, that's fair, Rob. That's absolutely fair. It'll be interesting to see how some of these new fellas, you've obviously got Sam Curran coming in, for example. How's that going to go? I don't think I mentioned him, but Moses Enriques as well is in this squad, isn't he?
Very, very good signing. The one that you mentioned there, Sam Curran, for me, it's going to be interesting what role he's going to play in this team, whether they give him the new ball, and we'll get into the first 6 games because he did get given the new ball, or whether he's going to be used as a change bowler, where I feel the man is going to be more effective. Now, they do have players leaving. Aaron Finch has gone, Yuvraj Singh has gone. They're big shoes to fill in this team, and I'm not quite sure that this team has quite managed to do it. But what they do have at the top is Mike Hesson. Now, Mike Hesson is an absolute world-class coach. He's a world-class coach. And he's done a fantastic job with the small talent pool in New Zealand. So if anyone's going to get the best out of this team, it's going to be him at the top.
Every team starts on the same number of wins, Rob, so I'm sure the Kings 11 Punjab squad will be optimistic that they can go far in this tournament again this year. Whether they do, obviously that's all open to we'll see how they perform. But they've got the big names, haven't they? They've got the likes of Chris Gale, etc. So they've got to be somewhere there or thereabouts. Andrew Tai is someone we just need to mention as well. Leading wicket taker last year, one of the finest T20 seam bowlers going around on the circuit at the minute, the Aussie. So he's going to be key again, isn't he, this year? We will see how these guys get on. Ravi Ashwin, this man, if we take his lead, he's not worried about anything. He just wants to win.
He definitely does want to win, and we'll touch on that shortly. So just to make sure we're shaking things up just enough to keep you on your toes, the next team will be RCB. So like we said, we are going from bottom to top on the 2018 IPL and working out how these teams have progressed. So RCB, captained by Virat Kohli, finalists in 2010 and finalists in 2008, finalists in 2015. They have been on poor form. The last 2 years, 8th and 6th they've finished, but it is a time of change. They are captained by none other than Virat Kohli, the man, the myth, the legend, the man that is leading India potentially to a World Cup, who is sometimes coming in for a tiny little bit of criticism around his captaincy in T20, Rich.
Yeah, Gautam Gambhir don't rate him.
Not quite. But it's incredible that someone would even try to bat an eyelid and go, hey, Virat Kohli, you're not very good at doing this, mate. When the guy it's like the next coming of Tendulkar.
Hey, everyone's entitled to their opinions. So, look, I mean, he doesn't really come in for much criticism, does he? Because he performs so well in all formats. He personally performs very well. But, fair questions. If somebody hasn't won, if he's not got himself a championship in the IPL yet, he's going to get questions. Go and win one. And that's how you shut everybody up. So he'll be absolutely keen as anything to go and do that this year, Rob. Gary Kirsten, the Safa, he is leading the RCB squad. And as you said, and as I'll say one more time, Virat Kohli is the captain. We can keep saying that as many times as we want. He is led in his squad by Parthiv Patel, Yuzvendra Chahal, Mohammad Siraj, Washington Sundar. There's a name we haven't mentioned on here for a while. Pawan Negi, Umesh Yadav, Navdeep Sani, Kulwant Kejrol, possibly. AB de Villiers, Marcus Stoinis, Nathan Coulter, Moeen Ali, Colin de Grandhomme, Shimron Hetmeyer, Gurpreet Singh, Shivam Dubey, Devdutt Padikkal, Himat Singh, Heinrich Klaassen, Miland Kumar, Preyas Ray Barman. He's got a mum and dad. They christened him, but all I'm thinking now is that somebody's going up to a bar. That's another joke. Preyas Ray Barman and Ashdeep Nath.
Nailed it.
There's your squad. I apologise, Mr. and Mrs. Ray Barman.
Superb stuff, mate. This is as star-studded team as what you're going to get in the IPL. You have Virat Kohli, you've got AB de Villiers, you've got Shimron Hetmeyer, you've got my man Marcus Stoinis, MVP. His MVP train's going to get a rocking and rolling. It's a head-scratcher for RCB, right? Because they've failed the last 2 years and failed quite miserably with this team. Now, you look at this and you go, wow, that batting lineup is absolute legend. Wait for it, Dairy. But if they're going to have a problem, it's possibly going to be around the bowling department. And I hate to be the one that's going, oh my God, this is the problem. This is the problem with this team. This is the problem with this team. It's just this batting lineup is so star-studded. You need another pot of money to be able to get the same sort of star-studded bowling attack to go with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. There's a lot of big names there. Bowling, it's going to be interesting. You've got obviously the spinner. You've got Yuzvendra Chahal. Washington Sundar had a great tournament a couple of years ago. He was on the up, wasn't he? It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the seamers. Moeen Ali's in there as well with a spinner. So I'm not sure of this setup. They might be a little bit lopsided, but it all depends on how Virat Kohli can kind of marshal his bowling attack, how he mixes them in, and is there anyone there under the radar that can step up? A big name for them, I think he's going to once he gets the real opportunities, Henrik Klaassen even, the South African, I think he's an absolute box office, an explosive batter. So it'll be interesting to see how much opportunity he gets in amongst all these overseas players, because obviously you are restricted in the numbers you can select. They've had to replace a few, Corey Anderson, Chris Wokes, and Quinton de Kock on the overseas guys. So this is a squad in like a few of them really. They've changed over quite a lot, haven't there? There's been a lot of flux in this squad.
Yeah, it's one of the interesting points about the IPL. There's always year on year there is turnaround in each team, and I can't wait to start talking about Sunrisers Hyderabad FYI and about who's leaving that team. One of the best names to ever play in the IPL. But this team is without a Brendan McCullum. Now, McCullum's impact into the IPL has been legendary over the years. His 158 is still the second highest score of all time, and that was in an IPL 1. Corey Anderson's left. Chris Wokes has gone. Quinton de Kock has gone. So you're taking out some of those players and some of those names, but that batting lineup is still world class. It's the depth of the bowling. They're going to be up there. They're going to be in and around it, but it could be the resurgence of Marcus Stoinis, Rich, let me tell you right now, as an all-rounder that takes them to the next level. Moving on to Mumbai Indians, Rich. Historically, one of the most successful teams in the IPL. They've won it numerous times. Rohit Sharma, the hitman at the helm, doing a fantastic job. But last year was a very, very interesting year for them. They came off 2017 as champions. 2018, they finished in 5th. But the season last year started so poorly. I can remember we got to about game 6 and I was there with my fork on the podcast going, this team's done. There's no way they're coming back. And incredibly, they did come back and they made a run in. They almost made the playoffs. They were so close. What has changed this year, Rich? What have they bought in? Who's in the squad to really kind of take them to that next level? Because Mumbai, it's a massive fan base, right?
It's Bollywood, mate. This is box office stuff, isn't it? Mumbai, this is the big city. Forget about those Delhi Capitals. That's what the Mumbai Indians are talking about. Out of the window, Nothing in particular. But Pat Cummins, they'll miss. JP Duminy a little bit. Killer Danajai, Mustafa Rahman. But, it's the ins that's a big thing. Quinton de Kock has come on board. That's a huge, huge signing. He was an absolute superstar. He is a superstar in this format. Lasith Malinga, he's involved here as well. And Yuvraj Singh. Zimmer framing himself onto the playing surface. It feels like he's been around forever. He's probably not as old as we think he is. He's probably younger than me, but he still feels like he's an old man. So this is a really, really good squad. We'll look at in a minute. Rohit Sharma, led by Rohit Sharma. There's not many better. The way he's been performing over the last 12 months, especially with the white ball at the top of the order for India. He is box office. He's joined by the Pandyas, Hardik and Krunal. They are absolute box office as well. Jasprit Bumrah, JJ Bumrah, Ishan Kishan, Suryakumar Yadav, Mayank Markande, Rahul Chahar, Anukul Roy, Sidesh Lad, Aditya Tare, Evan Lewis, Quinton de Kock, as we've mentioned, Kyron Pollard, Ben Cutting, Mitch McLennan. Adam Milne was in the squad, but I believe he's no longer involved because of injury. Jason Berendorf, Lasith Malinga, Anmol Preet Singh, Barinder Shran, Pankaj Jaiswal. Just let me take a moment here. I need to take a breath. Razika Dar, Yuvraj Singh, I can do him, and Jayant Yadav.
Made it. I'm so glad you do that. I really am. I'm going to let you breathe. So a great person as the head coach, Jai Warden, a hugely respected person across world cricket, and particularly in the subcontinent, he's really highly thought of. But this team potentially is one of the most balanced in the whole competition. Bringing in Yuvraj Singh, yes, he's not the Yuvraj Singh he used to be, 6 sixes and over Yuvraj Singh, but he's a hell of a player. You've got Kieran Pollard, you've got the Pandya brothers. But the bowling, Rich, Lasith Malinga, Jasprit Bumrah bowling together with Mitch McClenaghan's left armers thrown in, and then you've got the Pandya brothers overs, then you've got Hardik Singh's overs, you've got Kieran Pollard who can bowl. There is so much depth around this team.
It is. It's exciting. I like the look of this side. I really, really do. I love the balance that the likes of Hardik Pandya and others give this team in the middle of the order. Ishan Kishan, he's another one. He's the sort of player that if you're not as aware of him, you are going to be in the not too distant future. There's some really good players. There's some players that are in and around the Indian squad, might not be there. There's one or two players as well that aren't, quite household names yet. Your Ben Cuttings, your Berendorfs, the Aussies. It's a really, really good squad. It's got depth, hasn't it? Spin department, what have we got? Not sure. There's not an absolute world beater there unless I'm missing something. So that'll be interesting. But the bowling attack, JJ Bumrah, any team where he is part of the attack, I'm interested. I'm excited. Yeah, I love this. Love the look of this squad, mate. They're going to be competing.
They definitely are. Now, last year I hung my hat out and I said Mumbai Indians are going to win it, and they crashed and burned pretty quick. But I feel this year, the addition of, again, Quinton de Kock is an absolute superstar in IPL terms, and he's coming in to open the batting with Rohit Sharma. How spoiled can you be?
Yeah, 100%, buddy, 100%. But this is the thing with IPL, isn't it? Every squad is chock full of box office players, superstars from all around the world. So we're kind of surprised every time we read a squad, but it's we shouldn't be really, should we? This is what this tournament brings us.
Right, moving on to Rajasthan Royals then, Rich. So Rajasthan, if I was to go, I support a team in the IPL, I would say I support Rajasthan Royals. Historically, they're a team that have always been slightly weak, but have potentially always punched above their weight. 2008, they won IPL #1 with Kevin Peterson in the team. I'm just going to throw that in there. But they're a team that has always lacked a little bit of firepower to go with it. Now, this year, I feel that there has been some changes. We've just spoke about offline saying, hey, it's Rajasthan Royals, in brackets, England, or the England Royals, or whatever we call them, because there's so many English players that come over here. They're a team, Rich, that just partially, half of the team, doesn't really inspire me to go, this is going to be their year.
That's fair enough, Rob. That's fair enough. They've got some cracking players. Like we've just said, every single squad has some cracking players, but they lost some cracking players as well. Henrik Clausen, who we spoke about earlier, he's moved on. Ben Laughlin, Darcy Short, who had a good tournament last year, they've moved on. But they have got some interesting players that they've brought in, which we'll go through in a sec. But it's like we spoke about. This is very, very English centric, isn't it?
It is.
It's quite bizarre. Every year it seems to be 3 or 4 Englishmen, and that's the same again this year. So if you are watching from England or listening from England, this is the team that you'll more than likely be getting behind. So let's roll through it. Ajinkya Rahane skippers this setup. Krishnappa Gautam, Sanju Samson, Shreyas Gopal, Aryaman Birla, S. Midhun. He doesn't have a first name. He just has an initial. He's going to be like Pelly by the end of the tournament. He'll drop the S. Prashant Chopra, Stuart Binney. Like that name, much better. Dawal Kulkarni, Mahipur Lomraw, Rahul Tripathi, Ben Stokes, Steve Smith, Josh Butler, and Jofra Archer. Ish Sodhi, Jadev Unikat, Varanaran, O'Shane Thomas, Shashank Singh, Liam Livingston, Ryan Parag, Ashton Turner, Monan Vohra, and Shrubman Ranjani. Do you know what? As I read through that squad, I could convince myself that this is a better team. It's going to be really interesting to see how Steve Smith gets on. I love the dynamic that Steve Smith is playing in the same team as Ben Stokes and Josh Butler.
Yes.
Liam Livingston, sorry, mate, I'm not going to include you in that. You're going to be a very, very well-played drinks boy in this squad. I apologise, but that's the way it is. Ashton Turner, up-and-coming, very promising Aussie. There are some nice players in this squad. Sanju Samson as well. There's a bit more to it than maybe initially meets the eye. O'Shane Thomas as well. We saw him against England very recently. The boy's got some gas, hasn't he? The big fella's got some gas. So this is probably one of them squads where actually it doesn't pack the box office names. It's not going to be headlining any concerts, but there's a lot of good cricketers in this, and they might just surprise one or two teams.
They could do. I'm getting my pessimistic head on early on this, but the batting firepower is solid. You've got Ben Stokes. And, incredibly last year, remember we were sat here at the start for the first 8 games of the IPL, and Josh Butler was batting at number 6 in the order, averaging 20, and then they put him up to open, and he got 550s on the trot, and next thing you know, he's called up by England, and he started off like a train here. So, batting firepower. Sanju Samson, you mentioned him. Steve Smith. Steve Smith's not a bad player,
He won once upon a time. Let's see if he's still got it, eh?
Exactly. It's the bowling that worries me. So Ishant Sodhi, yes, he's a good spinner. Is he good enough to play on the IPL level? I'm not quite sure. Jofra Archer is always a big name on the T20 circuit. And as Englishmen, we're quite interested to see how he's going to get on just before potentially a World Cup call-up. But it's the rest of the bowling that doesn't fill me with confidence.
It's not household names, is it? And that's the thing, isn't it? You've got the Jadev Unikat and people like that. So it's going to be interesting. Ben Stokes is going to be a lot on his shoulders in this team, I think, as we get going. Josh Butler, get him up the order again. It's a tough one. This is a sort of team, like I say, this is a sort of one where you're not quite sure how they're going to perform, but they could surprise you. I think that's the way to look at this setup this year. We don't want to get too far ahead, but I wouldn't say that these guys are kind of going to be one of the favourites to win the tournament. Not in my opinion, but they may well just have a few upsets, surprise one or two teams.
Kolkata Knight Riders, again, one of the great team names. I'm glad they've not gone and changed their team. Captained by Dinesh Karthik. Now, they are 2-time winners of the IPL. A very solid team, an exciting team to watch. Also, the calm finishing of Dinesh Karthik so many times last year. We spoke about it, but I feel this is one of the teams that's really got a nice balance between youth and experience in this team to take them forward, Rich.
100%. And to be honest, we can stop the podcast now. Kolkata Knight Riders are going to win the tournament. There is no point talking about anybody else. We should have started here. It would have been a 2-minute podcast. The reason for that is Harry Gurney is on this squad. That's all you need to know. The winner so far this winter of the T10 competition, the PSL, the Big Bash, now he's signed for Kolkata. They're going to win the IPL. It's simple. It is the winter of Harry Gurney.
It's simple science, mate. It's simple science.
Science, exactly. Jacques Callis, he's the man at the helm of this side, right?
Wow.
Dinesh Karthik, as you mentioned, he captained. He was very much lives under the shadow of MS Dhoni. Wicketkeeper batsman, great finisher, but he doesn't quite get that same credit. But he was unbelievable last year. He was an absolute key player. This is a pretty good looking squad, Rob. Like they all are, but I do like this one, and I know you said well. And it's not just because of Harry Gurney. Let's have a look who else is in there. So, Robin Uthappa, Shubman Gill, Payas Chawla, Kuldeep Yadav, Prasad Krishna, Shivam Mavi, Nitish Rana, who's been around the Indians setup, Rinku Singh, Kamlesh Nagarkoti. Yep, definitely nailed that one. Chris Lynn, Andre Russell, Sunil Nareen, last year's MVP of the IPL, Carlos Brathwaite, Nikhil Knight, Anrich Norji, who I could not say his name last podcast, and I still can't say his name tonight. He's another player. He was supposed to be in, but he's missed out through injury. Lockie Ferguson. I'm going to come on to Lockie Ferguson in a moment, Rob, before we go any further. But let's just finish the squad. Harry Gurney, as I've mentioned, Prithvi Raj Yara, Joe Denley, the Englishman, and Shrikant Mudi. Now, Lockie Ferguson, IPL Public, what is going on with you lot? On today's game, this is when we're recording, has Lockie Ferguson got the best moustache in IPL history? Yes, 62%. 62%, you're wrong. It's horrific. What on earth is going on in India over the moment? Is this a style? Maybe like, 100 years ago this was a style in India, but come on, guys, you're better than this.
It is a good-looking tash. Like, if I could grow one like that, I'd probably have one of them on my face.
All right,
I might be single.
Maybe. Well, there is that. Maybe it's coming from a point of jealousy from me. I don't know, because I can't grow a moustache like that if I tried. But yeah, I'm not so sure. The best one ever? There must have been better than that.
Burt Reynolds. There you go, Burt Reynolds.
He didn't play in the IPL, Rob. That doesn't count.
I know, but he's the only person with a tash that I know his name.
That worries me greatly. But anyway, that's the squad, Rob. I've already told you they're going to win. But joking aside, Harry Gurney has had an incredible winter. He's if he needs to stick to cricket, because he keeps kind of digging himself holes and opening up controversy left, right, and centre with the comments he's making about cricket. So maybe just concentrate on just winning every single tournament that you go near this year, and that'll be right. Joe Denley, I'd like to see how he gets on. He's kind of put the hard yards in over the last couple of winters playing the likes of the PSL. He's stepping up in this one, and he should do pretty well. So they're missing out. The Mitchell brothers, the Mitchell Stark and the Mitchell Johnson, they're both missing out. Tom Curran is not here this time. Cam Delport, he's not on. So a little bit of change here, isn't it? Obviously, we spoke about Denley coming on board. Gurney's joining them. Lockie Ferguson, it's disgraceful. Carlos Brathwaite as well. So, yeah, decent-looking squad. Chris Lynn, Andre Russell, Big Dre Russ. And Sunil Nareen, he's a really sort of underrated player, but in IPL, he made our team of the year last year. He's the guy that gets them off to a start. They're going to be competitive.
They definitely are, mate. I actually think taking Mitchell Stark and Mitchell Johnson out and putting Gurney and Lockie Ferguson in is quite a good move, because Mitchell Johnson's old Mitchell Johnson. It's not 95-mile-an-hour Mitchell Johnson anymore. And I think if you put Gurney and Stark on a T20 level, you've got to put them as comparable names these days, because of how well Gurney's done. And you say it every time, he's the best death bowler in the world, but you sometimes can't hear what I'm saying. Lockie Ferguson's you're out-and-out pace. And I think from a development point of view, him playing in this competition is huge for black cap cricket. The batting, I think, is actually, it's got the potential to go off a bit. And the reason I say that is you've got Chris Lynn Sanity at the top, who every IPL does well. He always steps up. Robin Atapa kind of goes under the radar on the Indian names, but again, every single year steps up and does a good job. And you've got Andre Russell, Big Dre Russ down at the bottom. And how many times last year did we see him go absolute bonsai, 20 balls 50, 20 ball 50, changing the complete complexity of the game in the final 5 overs? He's going to bring that to him every single year. And I mentioned youth. You've got Shubman Gill. Shubman Gill's going to be in and around that top 6 as well. Yeah.
Good looking squad. Like every single squad is, Rob. Let's see. I don't know. It's going to be such a tough one picking a winner out of this tournament this season. I don't think there's any obvious ones in the pack there. I think there's one obvious one, which we'll get to in a moment. But it's going to be such a toughie.
So if we were following the table from last year, we would be touching on CSK right now. But the fact that CSK went and won the tournament, Sunrisers, they did not. We are doing Sunrisers as the 7th team of this review. Now, Sunrisers are coming off a fantastic year last year. They won 9, lost 4, lost 5 in the group stages. They should have done better. They kind of fell away towards the end, made it all the way to the final, where unfortunately, CSK went on and won. It's not like I support this team, but they have won the IPL tournament before and are captained by Kiwi superstar Kane Williamson. But it's an interesting dynamic around this team that really gets me excited, Rich. I'll let you break down the squad, but there's parts of this batting lineup and how it fit together that really gets me going.
Gets him going. I can't wait to get into this one. So, Tom Moody is bringing it all together here. As you said, Kane Williamson, he is the skipper of this squad. He's not there yet. He's got a bit of a niggle, but he is going to be on the way, hopefully in the next week or so. At the moment, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar is the captain. And let's have a look at the rest of the squad. So, Basil Thampi is in there, Deepak Huda, Manish Pandey, T. Natarajan, Ricky Bui, that looks like he's saying Ricky Boy, Sandeep Sharma, Vijay Shankar, Shabazz Nadeem, Abhishek Sharma, Siddharth Kaul, who had an unbelievable tournament last year, Srivat Goswami, Khalid Ahmed, Yusuf Pathan, Billy Stanley, David Warner, never heard of him, Rashid Khan, Mohammed Nabi, Shakib Al Hassan, Johnny Bairstow, Ridmahan Sahar, and Martin Guptill, Rob.
Wow. Well, they're up there. They are absolutely up where they're a team that nobody can relax against when they go up and play against them. You are talking about Johnny Bairstow, kind of fiery, ginger-headed Englishman, opening the batting with David Warner on the same team.
Could work.
Could be messy. Interesting to see how they get on. They look like best buds when they put on 90 odd the other day. Let's see how long that'll last. But then the fact that you've got Kane Williamson coming back into the team after a shoulder injury. You've got Martin Guptill, possibly one of the best white ball strikers in world cricket, coming into this lineup. That top six is legitimate. And the bowling lineup, when you've got people like Rashid Khan, who is hands down the best T20 bowler in the world by a long way, Shakib Al Hassan, Bhuvi Kumar, and you've also got Billy Stanley.
Big fella, Big Billy.
Big Billy, who had a great 2018 IPL. So it's a really, really good team. But I've got to ask the question, mate. There's two players here that are missing out. One is Chris Jordan, and the other one is how the hell are they going to go without Sachin Baby in the team?
Sachin Baby, that's what everybody's wondering about, isn't it? I thought he was going to throw me an Alex Hales curveball then. How the mighty fall, eh? Sachin Baby. Love that name. Such a shame he's not involved this year, but hey-ho, that's the way it goes, isn't it? Chris Jordan is a bit of a surprise. I think he's not the flavour of the month at the minute. He doesn't seem to be in fashion or in vogue as a player. But he showed recently for England that the guy's still got it. He's got absolutely everything. So that's a bit of a disappointment for me that he's not going to be involved. I like this setup of this squad. I've liked it for a few years now. I think these were my prediction to win last year. No, it might not have been. I have no idea. But I always liked the Sunrise Hyderabad squad. I like the fact that they've also got a couple of Afghanistan lads in there, Rashid Khan and Mohammed Nabi. They've got the Bangladeshi Shakib Al Hassan. This is a squad for me that have got those sort of the lower sort of rated international team players, but they are superstars. Rashid Khan, any team that's got him stands every chance of being there or thereabouts. I love the batting. I love what they've got at the top of the order. It could be explosive. We'll have to see. Again, this team's good. It's got the box office, it's got the big names, but it's how do those players that fit in around these superstars? How do they kind of perform in order to propel this team to the top? I would expect these to be there or thereabouts. I would not be surprised at all if they make the final. So yeah, let's see how this goes. Johnny Bairstow, would love to see a big tournament from him. Get him started in the English summer the right way.
And the final team to take a look at is the MS Dhoni-led Chennai Super Kings, champions-elect from last year. 3 IPL title wins. They came back from suspension. It didn't make a difference. They still went on and won it. One of the best teams up there with Mumbai Indians in terms of history in the IPL. They're born winners. They've got great finishers, and they've got a hell of a squad this year, Rich.
It's unreal again, isn't it? And this is a team, you can't really look past this team and this setup. They just know how to win. Stephen Fleming, arguably, well, I don't even think it's arguably, he's the best coach in world cricket at the minute. Yeah. England coming out of the World Cup, they could do much worse than give Stephen Fleming a call. I think they should be absolutely knocking down walls, running across oceans in order to get him to sign a contract if he's interested in taking on the England job. Love that man. He was a Notts boy as well. We haven't mentioned Notts yet. We have to mention that part of it. We have to crowbar that in there somewhere. So, Chennai Super Kings, this squad is super. And full of kings, maybe?
It's like a deck of cards.
Anyway, Mahendra Singh is leading this team on the field, isn't he? MS Dhoni, everybody's favourite wicketkeeper batsman, bloke that likes to wear a cap more often than most field. When he's batting, should I say. Suresh Raina, they don't go bigger than that in the IPL. He's been historic, really, one of the leading run scorers in the history of the game. Murali Ravi Jadeja, Kedar Yadav, Ambati Rayudu, Harbhajan Singh, Deepak Chahar, KMC, Khan Sharma, Dhruv Shori, N. Jagadisan, the wicketkeeper, Shardil Thakur, Manu Kumar, Chaitanya Bishnoi. Yep, I think I just about got away with that one.
I'll
Don't
let it
tell
go.
anyone. Faf du Plessis, Sam Billings, Mitch Santner, one of our favourites. Great to see him back playing again. David Willey, Dwayne Bravo, Shane Watson, Lungi and Giddy, Imran Tahir, Mohit Sharma, Rattajaj, Gaikwad. Well, that's not a bad squad, is it? Mark Wood misses out from last year, but apart from that, it's pretty much as it was.
It's quite incredible. Every team's got this huge turnaround of players every single year, year on year. They try and keep the core, but they rotate around, bring in new young players, new overseas players. But CSK have just gone the opposite. They're like, no, we've got a good team. We were good enough to win it last year. We are going to be good to win it again. The biggest strength that I can take away from this team is the leadership, the charisma that MS Dhoni brings, his finishing ability, his power, his ability to read a game and go on and win a game for this team. He is just incredible and by far the best leader that India have had in, must be 15 years.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's no argument there, really, is there? I don't think if anyone does. I think they're picking, splitting hairs, should I say. He's unbelievable. He's an incredible player. He is just a finisher. You don't see many players cool as him at the crease when the game's on the line. And that's what it's all about. We can all make 20, 30s here and there whenever we play cricket, at whatever level we play at. But it's when you make your 20 or 30 or 40 not out at the end of a game to get your team over the line. That is what's the difference between players that are good, and players that are great. And MS Dhoni is a great. And I'd fully expect and I would fully anticipate that this man to lead Chennai Super Kings to yet another title in this year's IPL run.
They've got to be right up there. The overseas players that they've got in are class. Shane Watson, 117 not out in the final last year to win them the competition. DJ
After
Bravo,
I wrote him off.
After you wrote him off. After the fault was fully put in Shane Watson and said, sorry, you're gone, mate. It's all done. DJ Bravo, Neil Wagner's short balls, David Willey's up there. But then you've got Faf du Plessis, Sam Billings is over there, Imran Tahir's great, and Lungi and Giddy is absolutely superb. So his biggest problem is, who the hell does he go and put on the pitch each and every week?
Well, that's it. You're not going to see players for CSK playing every single game. This squad's going to be shared out quite a lot, isn't it? The likes of Sam Billings, from an English perspective, it's an interesting one. He's come back around the setup, hasn't he? He's wanting to get himself a place in the World Cup squad. It's almost, the shop's nearly closed, isn't it? For that squad, but he still wants to get in there. Interesting little article wrote about him recently, where he was talking about how he's relaxing a bit more as a player. Relaxing as a cricketer is not the end of the world if he doesn't score runs, and he came across really well. He's not the sort of player I've always warmed to, so that was nice to see. But it's going to be an interesting tournament for these guys. One of the main reasons is if that pitch doesn't go, if that wicket doesn't improve. Because that was a hot in the first game, Rob. So it's just going to be line up your spinners, get as many in your team as possible, and hope for the best.
Yeah, Ravi Jadeja is going to be absolutely loving life this year, isn't he?
Imran Tahir 3 for 9 in the first game. Rob, and Harbhajan 3 for 20 as well, rolling back the years.
So talking about that wicket then, Rich. So the first IPL match started all the way back March 23. We're a little bit late getting this out with Bobby here taking a holiday. And it was an interesting one. 70 all out. You're talking about the wicket. What the hell went wrong?
Yeah, it was an absolute spin fest of a pitch, Rob. Yeah, it looks like they've been playing cricket on it for about 100 days straight. Even the CSK players afterwards were saying that they're not interested in playing on that deck every week. It needs to get better. Partha Patel, he kind of pretty much carried his bat, but it was single digits for everybody else. And then CSK made pretty short work of it, although Shane Watson did go without scoring. Wasted 10 balls. I'll write him off again this year. So that's what got us underway, Rob, with the tournament. It's a pretty underwhelming start, but you can't have fireworks and the glitz and glamour every single game, can you?
No, you can't. It doesn't work like that. That's just not cricket. But the second game was a little bit more exciting, and we did get to see a few fireworks. This is where you had Sunrisers Hyderabad against KKR. Sunrisers batted first, Rich, 181 for 3. It's the Bairstow-Warner partnership, putting on 118 at the top, and Shankar chipping in with 40, giving them a decent total.
Yeah, Vijay Shankar getting the chance there at number 3, wasn't he? 40, but David Warner will not be overshadowed. 85 off 53 balls. He's back. Everyone else is on notice. Dre Russ with 2 for 32. He also got himself a rapid 49 not out in response for KKR to get them over the line and get the win, 6-wicket win with 2 balls remaining. 68 for Nitesh Rana as well. Decent game, that one. 2 balls remaining, nail biter. That's what we were like. We want more of those.
That's IPL through and through. And the funny thing here was they needed 60 or 70 off the last 4 overs, and Andre Russell just started going bonsai. But it came down to the last over, and Shubman Gill was the man on strike, and there was questions of, does he take a single or does he try and hit it? And the boy wonder, 19 years old, went and hit 2 sixes back-to-back to win him the game.
He's not bothered. Just get it done.
Just get it done.
Feet up in the dressing room.
Get the job done. So we went from there, we moved forward, and we had Delhi Capitals, first game under their new name, playing against the highly touted Mumbai Indians.
And they made short work of it, Rob. 213 for 6. Awesome effort. I caught the start of this one, didn't watch it all. I should have carried on watching it. Prithvi Shaw went early for 7. Shikhar went 43. Ingram 47, but it was Rishabh Pant 78 off 27 balls. 7 sixes that got himself the man of the match and made sure that was too many for the Mumbai Indians chasing for them to get anywhere near it. 3 wickets for Mitch McLennan. He looked pretty good with the ball. 53 for Yuvraj Singh in response. The boys still got it. The old man still got it. And Krunal Pandya with a 32 at the end to help them to a relatively respectable total of 176, but they were all out. 37-run win for the new-look Delhi Capitals. Quick side note, love the fact that their kit is a little bit fresher. It's got white writing on it this year, Rob. No more gold, no more shiny gold and silver numbers like every other team seems to have.
Oh, no, I know that's a gripe for you, so it's good to see. Rishabh Pant here, mate, was absolute worldie. Like, it didn't matter where the ball was, he was hitting sixes all around the wicket, and they weren't small sixes either. Some of them were absolutely monstrous. Mumbai were never in the game, never really at the races, 95 for 5 out of the game. It was almost like, Yuvraj, here's a 50 for you for nostalgia reasons, and he's just kind of trotting along. So, interesting finish to the game. Next, we moved on. Kings Punjab 11 versus the English Rajasthan Royals. The English Rajasthan Royals.
Yeah.
Kings 11 Punjab batting first. 184 for 4. Chris Gale 79 off 47 balls. He was just getting going when he got out, and he was gutted. He absolutely laced a short ball straight to the man on the boundary. Khan picking up 46 not out at the end. So a decent total. Jofra Archer was superb, 4 overs, none for 17 for him, but Ben Stokes was woeful. He was the man who got picked up and ejected out the ground. He was going at 12 and over, 2 for 48 off his 4, and also Undercat, 3 overs for 44 for him. So 7 overs going for 92 runs there. Rajasthan in reply, Joss Butler was in outstanding form, 69 off 43, until Ashwin ran him out while he was backing up, Rich.
Interesting. I don't really want to talk about that, honestly. Just before I do, Steve Smith at number 4. That's a weird one. He can't be happy with that. This whole thing, we're not going to dwell on it because we haven't really got time. But just give me a break with all this crap. Give the guy a warning. Yeah. Simple as that. Give him a warning, and not anybody in the world will have a complaint about this. He's planned that. Ravi Ashwin, he's planned that. He knows exactly what he's going to do. He tried to make out that it was like just a spur of the moment thing. Bull, absolute rubbish. He knew exactly what he was doing, and I don't like the way he did it. Whatever you want to think, you can blame Butler, you can blame everybody else for it, but Ravi Ashwin, come on, mate. Do us all a favour. We don't need to see that.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. It's poor form. It shouldn't be a part of the game. The fact is that if he released the ball, Butler was still in his crease, so it was just absolute poor form, poor for cricket, and for so many people to turn around and say, you know what, he was right to do it. It doesn't work. Cricket doesn't work like that. If that was Virat Kohli, I'm sure there would have been a completely different reaction. But unfortunately for Rajasthan, mate, that was like the catalyst for their downfall. They finished 170 for 9. Didn't really get close. So Kings Punjab 11 won by 14 runs.
And Josh Butler, Rob, as well. He was on 69, 160 strike rate. He was cruising along, wasn't he? So the difference in that game, it was a close game in the end, but the difference was Josh Butler being ejected at that point. Just for clarity, other opinions are available. We respect all opinions out there, even the bad ones. But it's just, I don't know, it completely changed the game. We're talking about the wrong thing here, aren't we? We should be talking about the great innings of the likes of Gale and Butler, but we're talking about something that's controversial. Let's hope we don't see it again. Or if we do, it would be interesting to see a reaction if, like you said, Rob, it is Virat Kohli on the receiving end.
Exactly. I know if it happened in a club game that I was playing at, it would turn into a very nasty club game.
I would probably get myself another 2-game ban if that happened.
You would, and I'd have to restrain 1 or 2 of the old boys. It would not go down well. Delhi Capitals playing Chennai Super Kings, 147 for 6. Delhi batting first in Delhi. Shikhar Dhawan with 51 batted pretty damn well. Rishabh Pant tried to get going, but DJ Bravo picked him up. 147 is never really going to be a good enough score, and CSK were just far too good. Shane Watson, 44. That's you, Watto. Rayner with 30. And MS Dhoni, 32 off 35. Read the game situation, took them home with 2 balls to spare.
MS Dhoni, you could have expected that. You could have predicted that in advance that he's going to get himself a nice little 30-odd not out to get him over the line. Chennai, 2 from 2, Rob. They're going to be the team to beat. But Delhi, they're competing. That's a good start for them.
It is a good start, mate. And the final game to get us all the way up to speed is KKR versus Kings Punjab 11. And Andre Russell, you have gone and done it again, sir. 218 for 4. KKR scored, playing at home. 67 not out. Robin Atapa, we said he's a good player. Rana 63. But it's the finishing ability of Andre Russell. 48 off 17 balls, a 282 strike rate to take them up to 218 for 4.
Get on with the game, mate. Get on with the game, Dre Russ. 48 off 17. Stop wasting all those deliveries.
I know.
What a player, mate. He has hit the ground running. The boy's on fire. He is man of the match again on this one. Brilliant, brilliant performance. What more can you say? I mean, 2 for 21 with a ball off 3 overs as well. He did pretty well, didn't he? The Kings 11 tried. They really did try. Agarwal with 58, 59 not out for Miller, and 33 not out for Mandeep Singh. They gave it a bloody good go. They gave it a blooming good go, mate. 190 for 4. KKR winning by 28 runs, Rob. We are up to date. We are predicting the future now, Rob. Who's going to win this tournament? I'm going CSK. What are you going for, Rob?
I am going to put my money on Mumbai Indians once more.
Mumbai's getting it. Whoa, I just don't know. I don't know. See, I'm going easy on us, CSK. You watch. The wheels are going to fall off now. They're going to get injured. They're going to get everything, and it won't happen. But that's who I'm going with. You're going Mumbai.
Top run scorer?
I'm sure I went for Suresh Raina for everything last year. Rohit Sharma. I'm going to give Rohit Sharma a little go. Cool. But I've also said, don't be surprised if Rishabh Pant finishes this tournament wearing a new orange hat.
Yeah. Well, I am going to put my hat on David Warner. I feel this is the resurgence and the rebirth of David Warner. And he's just that sort of guy that steps up to the plate in the dogged situation. So he's going to be my boy. And then leading wicket taker, Richard.
Rashid Khan.
I am going with you. I'm going Rashid Khan. I feel like he's going to have an absolute worldie of a year. And I think, Rich...
just one last thing. One more thing. Jofra Archer. I believe Rashid Khan will be the leading wicket taker, but I would love nothing more than Jofra Archer to knock some sticks over and knock some falls over and take a heck of a lot of wickets and nearly book himself a place in that World Cup squad, because the England setup have got a closed mind, I reckon. They don't want to see him in the World Cup squad. Force the issue, man. Go and take a hatful of wickets.
Go and take a hatful of wickets. And that'll do it for today then, guys. So we are up to date with the IPL. The IPL podcast will be a rocking and rolling. If you haven't already, go check out the website, www.leadingedgecricket.com. All the latest podcasts, articles written by the global writers with a pool of writers that keeps growing week on week. Very, very exciting stuff. Richard, anything else from yourself?
No, just with those articles, make sure you go and check out Raj Nikat's latest article. He did a bit of an IPL preview, so it's well worth a read, that one is. And get in touch if you want to write. Let's get you on there.
Let's keep a rocking and rolling and keep growing. You guys have been legends. Until next time.